Live from WRAL News Headquarters in Raleigh, your #1 source for local news. WRAL News, coverage you can count on.
Taking a look at visibility, we do have the potential for some patchy fog in spots. I'll show you where it is on our cameras and how quickly it'll burn off.
We're expecting to learn more today about two plane crashes that happened just several hours and 50 miles apart. Federal investigators are working to figure out what caused the planes to go down.
And it is All-American Week at Fort Bragg. The week-long celebration just about to get started as a way to honor our military members. And it will be the last time that will be happening at Fort Bragg as we know it, because it will be renamed Fort Liberty in June. Look at this beautiful sunrise as we kick off your Monday morning. Thanks for waking up with us. I'm Renee Chu.
And I'm Jeff Hogan. Yeah, this is gorgeous here, and we have a nice start, kind of a settling start to our week. Much different than last week. Elizabeth Gardner, the WRAL Severe Weather Center. We do have some fog out there in some places, though.
We do. Take a look at Southern Pines. Our Southern Pines and Pinehurst cameras are showing some fog this morning. I'm seeing it in Angier as well, but it's not widespread by any means. But fog, of course, means that you're looking through the cloud. You can kind of see that, try to look down the fairway there, and it's hard to see. But we do have some low cloud cover in spots this morning, too. You might wake up to some clouds that are hanging around for a bit, but not all day. We're going to see plenty of sunshine later on. It's a cool start this morning. 52 degrees right now across the Triangle area. We have quarter-mile visibility in Rocky Mount, and officially it's 2 miles in Southern Pines, but it certainly looks a little lower than that in some spots. It's a cool 45 in Roxborough, and we're looking at temperatures in the 50s elsewhere, which still is probably a little bit cool if you're sending the kids out in their shorts and T-shirts. A little light jacket might feel nice this morning. For most of us, our temperatures are about 15 degrees cooler this morning than they were this time yesterday, but we will have a nice mild afternoon with highs in the low 80s with lots of sunshine. Taking a look ahead, a lot of folks have plans for the weekend, watching a developing low that could affect us especially Saturday. I'll show you that coming up, Brian.
It is 6:01 right now, and it looks like we have road construction this morning, slowing traffic on 87 southbound heading in from Knightdale back toward Raleigh. This is the camera out at Hodge Road, and that traffic is backed up heading out toward the Neuse River Bridge. A 14-minute delay right now as we get started. Just check with DOT, and this should be cleared by 8 o'clock this morning. That's what they're saying. So this is a time to go ahead and think about what you're going to do if you're coming in from Knightdale back toward Raleigh. You might consider using 64 Business as a good alternate route. Already those delays building back toward the 540 interchange. Once you get to New Hope Road, traffic's flowing freely back toward Raleigh.
Today, we expect federal investigators to provide an update on two plane crashes that happened just hours apart. First one happened in Orange County near Rougemont, and then 2.5 hours later, another plane crash happened about 50 miles away, right on the Virginia line there in Warren County. WRAL's Laura Levine is live in Orange County, the site of that first crash, with what we expect to find out in today's reports. Laura?
Jeff, good morning. Today, we are going to be getting more insight into this crash as the preliminary reports start rolling in. Now, the plane crashed into in between trees in a wooded area off of NC 157 in Rougemont. Right now, we are at the sheriff's office about 16 miles away from the crash site. And what we know right now is that the pilot was the only person on board, and they did die in that crash. Get a look at the Sky 5 video from the scene, giving you a better vantage point. It shows where the plane crashed around 12:15 yesterday next to this open field. And through the trees there, you can see a blue tarp over some of that wreckage. The Federal Aviation Administration tells us it's a single-engine Beechcraft 35. Now, just over 50 miles away in Warren County, another plane crash sent a person to the hospital with severe burns. That crash happened around 2:45. The FAA says that single-engine plane crashed while it was leaving from the Nokorva Airport in Macon. And back here in Orange County, there's still many questions remaining. Right now, it is unclear where that plane was going or coming from. Again, we are anticipating getting the preliminary reports from both of those crashes today. Laura Levine, WRAL News, live in Orange County.
A Harnett County deputy indicted in a crash that killed a husband and wife is scheduled to appear in court today. Deputy Kevin Letard faces 2 charges of involuntary manslaughter in the deaths of Brian and Patricia Finch. Investigators say Letard was chasing Jimmy White Jr. on March 3rd when the deputy's vehicle crashed into the couple's car. A woman who says she saw the couple seconds before the crash happened spoke only on WRAL.
I actually remember looking at their face and they were laughing, and then they actually looked kind of like a split second to make sure that they could go through, and they went, and then that cop come out of nowhere.
An attorney representing the Finches says a wrongful death lawsuit is possible. Deputy Letard said through his lawyer he's saddened by the loss of life. As for the man he was pursuing, Jimmy White, he's facing felony charges. He's also expected to be in court today.
Happening now, it's All-American Week getting started at Fort Bragg. The week-long celebration gives paratroopers a chance to celebrate their service and remember those who made the ultimate sacrifice. WRAL's Gilbert Bays is joining us live this morning on post where the festivities are about to begin for us. Gilbert.
Jeff, I tell you what, this started in 1986, and I guess I was here in 1986 when this thing started. Got a unit here getting ready to go for the run. It's going to be 18,000 paratroopers. But look over here. Here's the other part of 17,000 that are over here. These guys are going to run down Long Street, go down to Hendricks Stadium, make a loop back, and then come back here. It is an amazing thing to see this many paratroopers out here making this run. This is a celebration of the legacy and history of the 82nd Airborne Division here at Fort Bragg. You know, they say a lot of times when the president dials 911, that phone call is actually answered here at Fort Bragg. And the 82nd Airborne Division is Americans' Guard of Honor. A lot of times they're on the spearhead of heading out to locations all around the world. But this is a celebration for these, not only these paratroopers, but paratroopers from the past as well. Hundreds going to come here to celebrate All-American Week that's going to be happening all week long. They're going to be involved with the run and then a lot of sports competition trying to win the Commander's Trophy. That's what this is all about. Then there's going to be a passing review that will end all of this later this week and also induction into the Hall of Fame. I'm going to be following these guys on the run like I normally do. I'm already out of breath. Jeff, come on down there and help me out, but I'll be on my trusty, dusty elliptigo, and I have a GoPro on the top of my helmet, and we're going to get up close and personal watching these guys call out the cadence. I'm ready to go. So if you haven't gotten the chance to get yourself involved with this, come on down. It is open to the public. If you can get access to Fort Bragg, you got access to All-American Week.
Get on the elliptigo and let's get this party started.
Let's go.
Gilbert, thank you.
We salute the paratroopers and can't wait to see them run. Well, the Carolina Hurricanes are facing a huge uphill climb in the Eastern Conference Final. Tonight, they face an all-important Game 3 in Florida. The Canes are in a 2-0 hole in the series. They lost both Games 1 and 2 in overtime at PNC Arena. Coach Rod Brendamore says he doesn't expect to make many changes, but bounces need to go the Canes' way. Puck drop for tonight's game in Florida is at 8 on TNT. WRAL's Casey Hintz and Pat Welter are in Florida for coverage of Game 3 tonight and Game 4 on Wednesday. Right after tonight's game, WRAL has the exclusive post-game show. See all the key plays, hear reaction from players and fans, and get analysis you won't see anywhere else on where the series stands heading into Game 4.
Today, President Biden and House Speaker Kevin McCarthy will negotiate face-to-face again on a deal to raise the nation's debt ceiling. Here's a live look at the U.S. Capitol, where Congress is running out of time to lift that ceiling and avoid a potential economic collapse. McCarthy and Biden spoke by phone yesterday as Biden was returning from the G7 meeting in Japan. McCarthy wants spending cuts in the federal budget before Republicans will agree to raise the debt ceiling. He says their talk yesterday was productive, but there is still work to be done.
Look, there's no agreement on anything. We've all said our piece about where we are, and we're trying to find common ground to get this done.
The U.S. could default on its debts as early as June 1st if no deal is reached. The results could result in a loss of millions of jobs.
And Jeff, taking a look at Wall Street this morning, the futures here are really mixed. They're pretty much flat. S&P 500 down 1 point this morning. Dow Jones up 10 points. NASDAQ down 14. But this has been heavily fluctuating all morning long. Traders will also be keeping an eye on J.P. Morgan Chase's Investor Day. That is happening today with presentations given by members of executive management there. This is something we will keep an eye on all morning long. We'll bring you updates from the Live Center.
You'll see more law enforcement on the road starting today. It is the official start of North Carolina's Memorial Day Click It or Ticket campaign. The goal is to get everyone to wear their seatbelts. State and local officials will be aboard the USS North Carolina Battleship Memorial in Wilmington at 10 this morning to reinforce the message. The state transportation secretary says Memorial Day travel is one of the deadliest times on the roads. Click It or Ticket runs through June 4th.
We're deeply rooted in our faith, and we have been praying about this thing the whole time.
These new parents are praying hard after a groundbreaking surgery. How a team of doctors manages to save their baby's life before it was born.
I'm Ken Smith. You know the summer drill, constantly swatting away mosquitoes when we're enjoying the outdoors. Well, coming up, we'll take a closer look at a new study that reveals why some of us are mosquito magnets.
And taking a look at our forecast, 70s for the next 7 days. We get closer to the weekend and we get back to a chance of showers and thunderstorms. I'll show you what to expect coming up.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
It is 6:12. It's a nice start out there this morning. Temperatures are on the cool side, 53 in Wilson, 52 in Durham, 56 in Fayetteville. It is nice and still this morning. The whirligigs are barely spinning, and we're seeing some low cloud cover in many places, but that's not going to last long. It's going to burn off quickly, and we're going to see a nice bright day. We are looking at fog in some spots right around Southern Pines, parts of Moore County, and up around Rocky Mount and Wilson. You might run into some patchy fog. Elsewhere, it's just low cloud cover. Again, that's not going to stick around too long. Heading out the door this morning, you might want a jacket. Temperatures are mostly in the 50s heading out the door. If the kids are in their shorts and t-shirts heading to school this morning, which they probably will be, a light jacket might feel good. As they get off the bus, temperatures will be in the low 80s with mostly sunny skies. A quick look at our holiday weekend forecast coming up, Brian.
6:13, some good news here as we take a live look at 87 at the Neuse River Bridge there coming out of Knightdale back toward Raleigh. That overnight construction appears to be clearing now. We still have that right lane blocked, but they are taking up the barrel, so hopefully we'll get all lanes open out here pretty quickly. We're already up to an almost 20-minute delay on 87 southbound coming in from Knightdale back toward 440. You might consider using 64 Business or New Bern Avenue as a good alternate route until they can get all of those lanes of 87 southbound open. Elsewhere around the triangle, no crashes showing up, and for the moment at least, we're seeing very light volume. Jeff?
Thanks for that, Brian. National story we've been following for months here. The man accused of killing 4 University of Idaho students will enter his plea today. A grand jury handed up an indictment last week for Brian Koberger. The jury said there is sufficient evidence to charge him with the murders of 4 college students last November. Prosecutors say he stabbed them to death at their off-campus home. Koberger could face the death penalty if he's convicted.
There's another name on the list of Republicans running for president in 2024. U.S. Senator Tim Scott of South Carolina plans to officially kick off his campaign today. He is the only black Republican in the U.S. Senate. He's expected to join a crowded field that already includes former President Donald Trump and former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley, among others. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis is expected to enter the race later this week.
Breaking news this morning, the historic Central Post Office in the Philippine capital of Manila is destroyed after massive fire. Crews battled the flames there for more than 7 hours through the night. The post office is recognized as a national landmark and was one of the country's busiest buildings.
Many of us will spend a lot of time outdoors this summer, and that means at some point swatting away pesky mosquitoes. And we now have some idea of what attracts them to some people more than others. WRAL's Ken Smith joins us now with what a new study shows about why some of us are mosquito magnets. Ken, I'm one of them.
Yes, we all have been there at some point or another, right? Well, summer's right around the corner, Renee. We've got beach trips planned, camping trips, just some of the reasons we love living in North Carolina, and so do mosquitoes. Up until now, it's been baffling why mosquitoes are attracted to some people and not others. Here's what that scientific report reveals. The natural smells that we produce as humans are key reasons why mosquitoes love some of us and not others. Scientists built an ice rink-sized testing arena and pumped in different body smells to come up with this theory. The scents that mosquitoes were most attracted to were compared to pungent cheeses like Limburger, for example. Again, these are natural body scents that can't be eliminated by diet or unscented soap and are not noticeable to the human olfactory system, but mosquitoes really hone in on those scents. Well, this study will go a long way in improving insect repellents and other products that protect us from mosquitoes. And Renee, Amanda joins you in that. I mean, mosquitoes love her. Whenever we go home to the Virgin Islands, they are almost attracted to her.
I am almost always getting eaten alive by mosquitoes. And my parents always told me that mosquitoes were attracted to beauty. Now I know they were lying. Okay, it's because we smell like pungent cheese to mosquitoes.
Let's go with the beauty one. I like the beauty.
Ken, thank you.
Here it is, cheesy. This morning on Today, go inside a groundbreaking brain surgery to save a baby still inside her mother's womb. The baby's parents say they didn't hesitate when doctors said they could perform this first-of-a-kind procedure as part of a clinical trial.
It was an immediate yes because, I mean, we're deeply rooted in our faith, and we have been praying about this thing the whole time.
Her heartbeat had always been strong from the very beginning. She's still moving. Her brain is still well preserved. She wants to be here.
Coming up at 7 on Today, the miraculous story and the results from the first ever brain surgery in the womb. That's just amazing. We're at 6:17 right now on our Monday as we get things started. It is much calmer out here this week. Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center with what's ahead.
Nice, quiet work week. It's really going to be pretty. Our temperatures are going to stay close to normal or even a little bit below. We'll have low humidity. We'll see mostly dry conditions until we get to maybe Friday. Right now, Saturday looks like it would bring us the best chance for rain in the next 7 days. Of course, that puts us right into the holiday weekend, tracking a low pressure system. And a lot of things will change. I'm going to show you the model run that we have for Saturday right now. But of course, things could change in terms of the position, the timing, the amount of rain that we see. So keep checking in. We're tracking the tropics also. We have our first little disturbance. It only has a 10% chance of developing, but I'll show you where that is coming up. We take a live look at what's happening outside right now. Fayetteville, Apex, Chapel Hill, all looking just a little cloudy this morning. We have some low cloud cover out there and a little bit of patchy fog in spots. It's been foggiest down at the Sandhills, say around Pinehurst and Southern Pines. This high pressure system in control of our weather right now will keep the moisture to our south suppressed there. It does help to pull in some cooler air. High pressure systems rotate clockwise. So in that position, we're seeing some cool, dry air into our part of North Carolina. We'll see a low developing off the coast as we get into the holiday weekend. However, Friday looks like it'll stay fairly dry and cool at 73. But Saturday, we may have a low that moves up the coast, bringing some showers and thunderstorms. And it looks like that'll start to pull away on Sunday with 79 degrees, but there still could be an isolated shower that lingers. Here's a look. Let's start on Friday. Everything's looking pretty nice on Friday. We do have a northeasterly flow Friday, keeping things nice and cool, but for the most part, Friday looks dry. And then that low pressure system may start to spread rain and thunderstorms across North Carolina during the day Saturday. That low hopefully will pull northward and bring us a bit of a drier day on Sunday. That's the way things are looking right now. But again, the timing of that could end up changing. Could be an afternoon thunderstorm or two there on Monday for the holiday itself. Again, this is a sort of an early look. Keep checking back. We'll let you know how things continue to shape up. Our tropical outlook down here east of the Bahamas is a little disturbance, just a 10% chance of developing. But just a reminder that hurricane season officially starts next Thursday, so just over a week from today. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, all looking mostly dry. Again, watching that chance for some showers and thunderstorms mainly on Saturday. Brian, I guess it's just the pattern that we've had for almost 3 months.
It feels like about 3 years, but that's okay. It's all right. It is 6:20 right now, so we take a look at traffic in Knightdale. Some good news. They have opened all lanes of 87 southbound now. I had some overnight construction that lingered into the morning commute, closing a couple of lanes. So traffic's flowing freely. A reminder, with those flashing lights on the side of the road, you do need to scoot over at least one lane to give them some room to work or at least slow down considerably. We're now down to a 7-minute delay, so seeing some improvement there as you come in from Knightdale on 87 southbound, and that will get better here over the next little while. But for the next few minutes at least, we're going to have backups from 540 out to just beyond Hodge Road. Around the rest of the triangle, we'll scoot over toward Durham. Take a look at your major approaches into Durham right now. Not seeing any big delays. A 1-minute slowdown on northbound 85 coming in from Hillsborough.
Brian, thanks. The Carolina Hurricanes are trying to claw their way back into the Eastern Conference Final. In the next half hour, Casey Hintz and Pat Welter takes us to Florida to show how the team is preparing for an important Game 3 tonight.
And liftoff, Falcon 9. Go Axiom.
That's a history-making mission to the International Space Station. Meet the crew unlike any other on its way to orbit.
First, here's a look at your winning lottery numbers.
This What's Trending report, sponsored by Rug & Home.
You might not get another chance to see Miley Cyrus perform on stage.
Brian Schrader here now with What's Trending on our Monday morning, Brian.
Yeah, Miley says that she doesn't want to go on any more concert tours. In a new interview, she says she doesn't feel a connection when she's performing in front of large crowds. She calls it isolating, and she says she'd rather just perform for her friends.
The last time she went on a world tour was in 2014, so it has been a while. But look, she has the year's biggest hit, Flowers, and she can buy herself flowers. She can write her name in the sand, so she doesn't have to go on tour if she doesn't want to. She's turning out the hits.
Breaking my heart, that news, Brian.
Well, it shows that, musicians, that's how they make most of their money. So that she must have been smart with her money over the years. So good for
her, yeah.
Check out this shot from the PGA Championship. This is Michael Block, whose day job is giving golf lessons at a course in California. He qualified to play in the major, and look at this. Hole in one.
Straight in.
A hole in one. Ended up in 15th place against the world's best, and that guarantees him a spot in next year's tournament as well.
This guy was the story all weekend long because he's he's an everyday teaching pro. And in the PGA Championship, they take 20 guys from around the country to play in this event. And he finished tied for 15th, made $288,000. I think the price of his lessons just went up.
I think so.
A little bit.
Amazing.
Michael Block will be live this morning on Today talking about that unforgettable weekend right after this newscast, 7 o'clock on WRAL. Cool story.
And take a look at this. Racing is back at the North Wilkesboro Speedway. The track hosted the 2023 NASCAR All-Star Race last night with Kyle Larson getting the win. The track hosted NASCAR races for years before stopping in the 1990s. The Speedway received millions of dollars from the state budget a couple of years back. They used that money to restore the track to its former glory and to make some upgrades.
I'm Gilbert Bays in Fort Bragg, dressed for the occasion. This is All-American Week. 18,000 paratroopers getting ready to hit the road.
Today, we will get more information about two plane crashes here in North Carolina. One killing a pilot in Orange County. Just ahead, we're live with a look at what we do know about these crashes.
And the sun is rising over Clinton, but through some cloud cover. I'll show you when these clouds will burn off and how warm it'll get this afternoon coming up.